welcome to YOUCANIC. In this video we're going to show you how to remove the airbag on this vehicle and how to remove the steering wheel as well. Now this is a 2016 Mazda 3, but this procedure might also apply to other Mazda vehicles. It's very similar, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you're going to need to do is disconnect the battery. So you're going to open the hood by pulling the hood release under the dashboard. You come here, put this to the side and lift up the hood and secure it. Over here we have the battery, 10mm nut right there, and put that to the side. That's the negative, and that's what you want to disconnect. Now we recommend that before you disconnect the battery over there, the negative, what you can do is leave the ignition in the accessory mode. So meaning the steering wheel is unlocked, but the dash lights don't necessarily need to be on. So what that will do is will allow you to turn the steering wheel, because we need to access the holes on the side. So make sure you do that first before you disconnect the battery, because otherwise you're not going to be able to turn the steering wheel and access the holes. So we have done that. You can see here the steering wheel is not locked, so we can turn it. Now that we have disconnected the battery, we can turn it that way. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need the screwdriver, and it can be too long because there's not much room here to come there, but you need the screwdriver, and then you'll have to come to from the back here, and we'll show you in a minute what that looks like. But before you go ahead and insert the screwdriver, make sure you have waited at least 3 minutes after disconnecting the battery. And then once you come here, press that horn. It will discharge any current that might be in the electrical system. The thing is that when you work on these airbags, they can, if you accidentally cause a short or there's any charge that's still remaining, it can cause the airbag to deploy, and that can cause injuries. So here on the back of the steering wheel, there's two holes. There's a slit and there's a hole. We're going through that slit. We're not going in the hole, we're going through. There's a slit on the back here. We can show you once we have the steering wheel off. But you're coming at an angle like so, and then you're actually pushing further down. Now, this is tricky here because it doesn't require a lot of force, but what it requires is to find the right spot where you need to press down. So that actually released right there. So I'm going to turn the steering wheel another position. Oh, there's another slit on this side. So I'm coming down there, and then you can see the airbag come out here a little bit. Now we did both sides, we have to do the bottom. So we turn the steering wheel all the way towards the top. Now here we have a hole, and now you want to hold the airbag, and don't stay too close to it, but you're going to hold that airbag and put that down. Don't let these hang by these wires. Right here in the center right here, it's there's this plastic, the black plastic right here, that's what locks the connectors. What I want to do here, carefully, having a pick tool will make this a lot easier, but what you'll do, you'll pop this out and then disconnect the connector. I'm gonna lift this up right there, and then lift this up as well. Okay, so that unlocks those connectors. Now be careful, not pull that too hard. You don't want to pull these completely out. We're gonna have to put that back. But they should allow us now to pry this off. And the same over here. And it's recommended to wear gloves, because any static can send current to that igniter and cause this airbag to deploy. But hold the airbag carefully and pull that to the side. As you're working on these airbags, keep your body at least a foot away from the airbag. because in case it does deploy, it can cause injuries if you're too close to it. And here we gotta remove the bolt here. Now, because our battery is disconnected, and even if the battery was connected and the steering wheel was locked, you're gonna have a second person hold this steering wheel while you get this bolt right here loose. So somebody has to counter hold it, and you break that loose and remove that bolt. All right, so here you're gonna put, this is a 21 millimeter a bolt. So you're gonna hold this here and then put your 21 millimeter socket in there, an extension, and your wrench, ratchet wrench, and then counter hold this and get that loose. Ideally you want to do this with two people, but it's possible to get this done. You can do this by yourself as well. So we remove that bolt. Now that we remove the bolt, what we want to do is we want to mark this, the steering column, shaft, and the steering wheel. Because when we reinstall this, we want to put this steering wheel in the exact same position. Otherwise, you might put it back at an angle, and then you're driving down the highway, and the steering wheel is off center. So I'm going to get a marker and mark that. So what I like to do is I come straight at 12 o'clock. So what I like to do is I come straight right here at 12, and you mark that, and you make a little line on there as well. And then also here at 3, by doing 2 spots, it's a lot easier to identify where that steering wheel needs to go back. So now that that's off, right here we have these wires. Let's go ahead and disconnect the buttons. Right here we have this. You have to press right there and then pull that out. Okay, so that's disconnected. Now all you have to do is grab that steering wheel and pull it towards the back. Now here's something very important. Right behind it you have the clock spring. This, try not to move this around, because if you move this around and you rotate it one time and it comes right back at the bottom, that is going to be an issue. If it's a clock spring integrated with steering angle sensor, the vehicle is gonna think you're making a turn while you're going straight, but also that the ribbon gets stretched, and when you turn to the side, it gets stretched and it gets broken. So right after you put it back, after a few drives, you end up causing things like airbag light to come on, traction control light to come on, and a lot of other issues. So this is very important to keep that at the same location. Don't spin this around. But that's it as far as removing the airbag and the steering wheel. Really quick, let's take a look at this. So right here at the back, you can see the steering wheel, and most models are going to be the same. So what we're doing, we were going with a screwdriver through this hole right here. You're going at an angle right there. You're not going through this hole, you're going through that. So if we take a screwdriver, you can see it goes right through there. And then you're going basically at that angle. And then as you insert it, then you push this way, it releases the airbag. If you look at the airbag right here, what we're doing, we're pushing on this, on the sides. So you can see there's one here at the bottom. You're pushing on this and releasing that. So it's 3 spots where you're pushing with a screwdriver to release it and remove the airbag. Again, handle the airbag with care. Put it somewhere where it's not going to drop. If it does deploy, you can get injured. So when you put this back together, make sure you line up these 2 lines marks we made here with the steering wheel. We install that that bolt, and you have to torque that to spec. See our step-by-step guide for that, for the specs on that bolt. It's recommended to replace that bolt, or you can use a little bit of thread locker on the threads. As you can see, the same was done on this one. So it's important to do that. You don't want that bolt to come loose while somebody is driving. Airbags, you just press it in and it goes right into place. That's all. Thank you for watching.